Hi everyone, welcome back to the Backstage Q&A. A few things have happened in the chat already. Firstly, my dad's in the chat.
Yes!
And he would just like me to set everyone straight that they predicted a Brighton win. My dad said 2-1, mum said 1-0. Check your texts, he says to me. And he says he agrees with you that Brighton will draw against Leicester.
Yeah, you're really down on them against Leicester, aren't you? Did your dad also predict the Palace win? Is that where you're getting your tips from? Is that the sudden change in fortune?
Absolutely not. It was fun. My dad went on a run last season. He got about 10 Brighton results right in a row. I've been doing better than him this year at predicting. But yeah, sorry, Dad. I thought for some reason I thought they went for Brentford wins, but must be wrong about that. Secondly, we've had a super chat just to say thanks to Jim.
Jim. Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, we will review your wildcard in just a second. Let's do the community draft first, though. Because,
yeah. So keep your super chats out for now while we do the community draft situation. So let me bring up the bits and pieces for this. Right. So this is how it works. Right. Talk us through it, as you're the expert here.
So it's the community tournament, strikers, keepers, losers, weepers. It's run by Boris Bodega and Greyhead and loads of other guys sort of behind the scenes.
And we've got the TV rights, right?
And we've got the TV. Somehow we've ended up with the TV rights. We've beaten off stiff competition, which is nice. And yeah, we'll be talking about this kind of probably in the Q&A section. So if you're interested, you know where to kind of go. So essentially, it's teams of FPL managers battling out over a series of head-to-heads. And then a knockout. So it's kind of, I think it's like Champions League kind of format, and then it goes into knockouts if it's like the other ones. It's 16 FPL managers, sort of from the community, from Scout, from Twitter, run by like a team captain who will decide the lineups and subs. I've done it before. And the new addition is this year, there's 1 or 2 MVPs. So they're prominent managers or managers with a good career history. So not all of them know that they're in this tournament. So like Magnus is in it, Fabio's in it. They probably aren't going to be following it so much, and they haven't entered to be in it, but you can recruit them if you play your cards right. 24 teams in total, so 24 teams of 16 managers. So like big tournament, couple hundred people in it. Team captains have been recruiting, and then they get to choose their MVPs going forward. Winners get a trophy, fame, fortune, and bragging rights.
FPL merch has provided the trophy. We should point that out. Fantastic trophy from FPL merch. So these are the captains, aren't they? So some big names in there, some familiar names in there.
Yeah, so the team captains are Darth Crid. So if you're on Scout, you'll probably know some of these from Scout. Some of them are on Twitter as well. Darth Crid, Perlos Pens, Narcos, Fantastic Mr. Fox, Kira FPL, Sri the One, Tets McGee, Speedy, Toblerone 52, Galrev Gard. I mean, just reading out these names, it's like, what the hell is this community? What FPL Hints, big on Danilius, Lagden 82, Savanish, FPL Differential King, FPL Richie, FPL Panda, who is
local
brilliant.
lad, just round the corner.
Is he? Just round the
lives
corner?
in Horsham.
Yeah. Did the Champman FPL like spreadsheets and stuff. Greyhead is a captain. Richard SP 93. Lynn FPL Lynn is a captain as well. Auto Select FPL Mahir, Chandler Bing, and Scout's very own TED Talks FPL.
Yeah,
they're your captains.
Good old Ted. Right, so they're the captains. So what they had to do then, there was a snake draft basically, and up for grabs were the following managers, right? These are all the kind of MVPs, as you said, and there's some giants of the FPL world there, and me and you as.
Well, I think you would definitely qualify. Tom Stevenson, Fabio, FPL Salah, Magnus Carlsen, FPL editor Darren Wells.
Got to read them all now.
Yeah, I'll read them all. Neil from Scout, Sean Tobin, Zophar, Tom Freeman, Holly Shand, FPL Matthew from Hub, Jeff Dance, Ragabolly, Slippers, you, Joe, me, Big Man Bakar, Les Caldwell, who won the Great and Good League last year, Andy North. Also, I don't know what he's doing there.
Yeah, hit the North. What's he doing there? Yeah, go on.
Summer March, FPL General, Late Riser, Janny, Luke. I mean, it is a proper elite list of people. So, if your first pick and the person with the first pick is the person who's been doing the best so far this season.
So the manager with the most points so far got the first draft pick.
Yeah, that's how I understand it. And surely you go for one of the best managers. Fabio is the obvious pick, isn't he? I would have thought.
Fabio or Tom, yeah.
Fabio or Tom. Should we have a look to see who?
I mean, I mean, let's just talk about it a bit more, because you'd have to be very odd not to go Fabio or Tom, wouldn't you? Really? And then not being funny, Magnus and myself probably would be up there.
Yeah,
Tom Freeman would be up there, maybe.
Better
Late
career
Riser.
records.
There's all kinds of names that you'd think would be in the top 3 or 4. pick.
Matthew there saying
Matthew
Mark will be
call.
first pick. Yeah, you would have thought, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be odd, wouldn't it? I mean, who else would it be other than some of the names that we mentioned there? I mean, it'd be crazy if it was as. I mean, obviously it's comedy value, right? He's gone for the novelty value, right? It's just to get laughs, isn't it?
He's gone for pure class and talent, and he sees something in me this season, which is clearly enough to pick me over the likes of.
I mean, it gets sensible after that. You know, late riser, Ragabolly, good manager. Tom, great manager.
There's
Slippers,
two things.
all right, had a good season last year.
There's three things I love about this list. Firstly, that I got picked, so I'm more than happy to join your team, Savanish. It's going to be great. Secondly, where the hell is Fabio?
Yeah,
why is he not in the top 10?
Well, he's having a bad season, but it's only so far, isn't it? It's early days.
And you're sixth. That's terrible.
And after Andy as well.
After Slippers.
That's like two blows, really.
So just to clarify, I was first pick. Savanish is in the chat.
Let that sink in. Yep.
Savanish, I mean, I think you've made a huge mistake. I'm not going to lie, but I will do my very best.
Well, he's already winning, right, Savanish? He's the best manager. Yeah,
exactly.
Right. Scoring captain.
We got a huge advantage, which I lose. Late riser was second. Ragabolly third. Live FPL's own Ragabolly. Tom Stevenson. I mean, having a brilliant season and in the top 5 Hall of Famers anyway. I mean, he's Savanish. He's much better than me. Then Slippers. Then you, Mark, in sixth. FPL Richie. Big Man McCard for Darth Grid. Magnus Carlson won his 8th, which I was quite surprised at, for Denelius. Zofar, FPL Mahir, and then FPL Salah for Gaurav Garj.
Yeah, FPL Swat's welcome me to Team Richie. Does that mean Swat? Are we in the same team? Because that's some consolation to this debacle of as being first pick. If I'm in the same team as Swat, my muso friend on Twitter. But I mean, I haven't looked at the rest of the squad yet. But I mean, my only answer to this is I've got to help them win it, haven't I? I've got to have a fine season and help them win it, because the insult of being below you in the draft.
I mean, if I came first and win
it. God, Jesus. Yeah. Swat says we are on the same team. Right, okay, I fancy our chances now. It's not too bad.
Voices asks why Andy's called Slippers. It's because he once did a video in his slippers.
Oh, did he? Or did we make that up? No, he did a video in his dressing gown, I think. Or he was wearing a dressing gown and we just went, have you got the slippers to go with it? And then it was just stuck after that, didn't it?
That's loose.
Probably none of this happened and we just made it up and it just...
I believe it was your name.
No,
it's definitely stuck though.
Anything that winds Andy up, we, Andy that of the 195,000 subscribers.
Yeah. With Lego Money as well.
Who's got Lego Money? Oh yes! Oh, come on! Right, it's getting better all the time.
Savannah, who else is in our team? You haven't picked a load of other idiots, have you?
looks like we've got an elite team. I'm feeling better about this. Who else is in? Who else is in FPL Richie's team? So
I'm excited to see the full squad list.
Yeah, we should bring them up next week. So when does it start? Does it start for Gameweek 5?
I have no idea.
Oh, that's it. First out the draft, not a clue what's going on.
Just put me on the spot there, didn't you? I don't know. Greyhead can answer that question.
Okay.
Do you want to just run through the other picks of the draft?
Oh yeah. What have we got now? We've got these are the rest of the picks, and Holly's at the top there, 11th.
Rest of the picks. Yep. So Holly in 11th. I won't read out who's got them. You can see on the screen. Then it was Sam. Then it was Luke. So Luke ahead of Fabio in 14th.
I mean, Luke's having a good season, though, fair enough.
Yeah, it's crazy. But would you pick Luke over Fabio? I don't think Luke would pick Luke over Fabio, let's be honest.
No, probably not. But,
Sean Tobin, Janny, Zan Karosky, FPL editor for Lynn. Tom Freeman, lowdown, deputy editor of Scout and one of the best managers around in 19th. Johnny Howson, and then Jeff. FPL Matthew, FPL Mode in 23rd. I reckon they'd be quite happy with that, ahead of Joe, for example, who was 26th.
He's in the same team as Simon March. So Chandler Bing's gone and picked the former winner of FPL and Andy.
FPL.
I'm just saying.
And Andy first, right? And then he was like, I better get the world number one, the former world number one as well.
Yeah.
Darren Wiles in 25th, and then Joe 26th. Chapper Steele 27th. Somewhat Pleasing has joined Lynn as well. Kabayan, Les Caldwell, Neil Rigg, editor of Scout.
How is General 32nd pick? It's ridiculous.
I know. General in 32nd. BRKFC True Rover, 33rd. John Keats. Jack the Cat, my old mate from... We've done community tournaments before, me and Jack been in the same team.
He's in my team though, FBL Richie.
Yeah,
he's in my team.
He's been in a league of mine as well. We've done loads of these stuff together. Me and Jack. So you've got him, FPL Mad 36th, Schmarn 37th, Sanchit 38th, Rocco 10. I know Rocco well as well. In 39th, Electru in 40th, and finally Som H3I. Both of those last two for FPL.
And if you've been sitting there thinking, what is this all about? Well, what's going on? This doesn't apply to me. Make it apply to you in the future and get in these competitions because they're brilliant, aren't they? And it just really bonds us all as FPL managers, gives us that little bit of extra fun. I think everyone who's in it is going to enjoy it. And if you're outside looking in, make sure you're not outside looking in next time.
Pick a team. Pick a team to support if you're looking in, and then get involved next time round.
We've got swap. We've got
go with the number one pick.
Jack the Cat.
I'm like The Rock when he got picked on, when WWE divided.
You're like The Rock. Jesus Christ. Brighton Rock. Yeah.
Better than The Rock.
Yeah. Okay, right. So shall we get on to the questions then? We're going to follow that in BlackBox and in Q&As. Going forward, it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's get back to Jim's wildcard team. He's given us a tenner. We owe it to him to have a go through this, right? So he has got nothing in the bank. His current wildcard team is Sanchez and Foster, standard. Trent, Diaz, Marcel, James and Williams. Midfield of Salah, Jota, Torres, Benrahma and Gilmore. Up front, Ronaldo, Antonio, Pookie. I like it. I mean, I
need to put it into a formation. I understand.
Well, he is going. He's got the players on the bench are Williams, Gilmore, and then he can rotate Pookie in and out of the team, I guess, or he can rotate Marcel in and out of the team. He's got a strong team. He's only got 2, I would say, bench players, so he's got 12 players who could be active. He's got Trent. He's got the Man City. He's got the Chelsea defence. It's hard to spot a weakness with this. I guess. Would you keep Benrahma on a wild card? Is one of the questions, right?
I think you lose Benrahma for Rafinha.
He can't afford Rafinha though. He's got nothing in the bank, so he would have.
But he's got Pookie.
Right, so you would downgrade Pookie to a 5-5 and go, or even below, would you?
Yeah, I think so. So is Pookie a starter for him? He is, right?
He doesn't have to be because he can go 4 at the back with Trent, Diaz, Marcel, and James. So he can play 4-5. He can play 4-5. No, 4-4-2. He can play, and then Pookie is a sub to come on when he doesn't fancy Marcel's fixture, basically, or Benrahma's.
Yeah, I would drop Pookie and upgrade Benrahma.
Would you?
Pookie isn't a good pick. And he's not that cheap.
Fixtures are very strong.
5'9".
He's 6, isn't he?
I think he's dropped. I think he went down to 5'8".
Oh, right, he's dropped. Yeah, of course he has. But, it's just Benrahma for me is the issue. I think obviously you could have an issue with Jota soon if Firmino gets fit, but that's okay because you can go to Rafinha at that point. So I think that's what I would do. I would leave this, to be honest, and see how Benrahma plays out because he can go Jota to Rafinha after that. Once he's seen Leeds a few more times and Jota's maybe lost his starting role. I don't think there's too much to change here at all. He's going Ronaldo over Lukaku. Presumably he's going to make the move in 7.
And you drop him down.
And then that'll get him the extra money, right? And that's when he could probably go Benrahma up anyway. So I think leave it if you're definitely going to downgrade Ronaldo to Lukaku.
I just don't like the Benrahma or Pookie picks.
Right. I don't have a problem with it for this week because Pookie has got Watford. Benrahma, it's tricky, but he's got the Leeds fixture after that. And then you're going to be getting money in anyway, aren't you, for Ronaldo out?
Yeah, I suppose. They just to me are players if I was wildcarding, I just wouldn't pick, which probably makes them quite good options. To be fair,
I'd be tempted for Cancelo over Diaz because if you've got an active sub, you can play that sub when you think Cancelo might not play, and I just think Cancelo's a far more exciting pick than Diaz. But I understand Diaz because he's solid, and perhaps you could have gone Rudiger over James, and so that you see that as a risk. But I'd be tempted to go Cancelo over Diaz. Is the only thing that I'd probably do here. Yeah, interesting. When you get rid of Ronaldo here, Jim has got no United as well. So would you go Jota to Greenwood after a while?
Well, I don't know. I don't think that's a huge problem.
Bad fixtures, right?
Yeah. I just think you're going to look at Pookie. You haven't really got anywhere to go with him. 5.9. You're either going to have to start him or play 4 at the back.
But that's okay with Marcel's fixtures, right? Because he's got James, Trent, Diaz, Marcel. That's okay with Marcel's fixtures. I think it's fine. I think it's good. I think the only thing is you've got to be certain you're going to downgrade Ronaldo, because I think you might want a Leeds player, and it's Ben Rama to Rafinha you want to do probably in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, you could, depending on how much. I mean, Ben Rama's what's the selling price on him now? Probably 6.3.
Oh, is it that much? I don't know. Is it that?
How much has he gone up to? I was just thinking if you could go to 6.4, then you could drop Gilmore down to Mendy, who's 4.4. If you need that 0.1.
Ben Rama at the moment is 6.4. My selling price I've got on him. I think he's
6.4. Okay, so if you did get him early and you can sell him for 6.4, then you could do Gilmore down and Ben.
Oh no, I get 6.2 on him. So yeah.
Oh.
So you had him early.
So his price is 6.4. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I would want Semedo over Marcel. I wouldn't want Ben Rama, and I wouldn't want Pookie. But other than that, that's good.
Right. So you would downgrade. You could downgrade Pookie, and then get Semedo in for Marcel.
Yeah.
And Rafinha in for Ben Rama.
Yeah.
That I quite like that when you put it like that.
That's what I do.
Yeah. So there you go, Jim. That's what we think. Downgrade Pookie, make your decision making easier by having a third sub player who's not active, and then go in for Rafinha and the superior Wolves defender. Hopefully that's helped you. That's what we think there. Next one, Siddharth has asked us Bamford or Jimenez. Bamford for me. I mean, I think if we hear nothing from Bielsa and we see any training pictures of Bamford in it, I would go Bamford. I just have my doubts about Jimenez, regardless. I mean, they've both got strong fixtures. I just think Bamford has got goals and assists in him. So I think he's got that little bit more than Jimenez anyway.
I would agree. Like I said, and I've said it so many times this show, I don't think I want Jimenez until he scores. And I think everything you said about him earlier is right. And if I'm picking one of them for the foreseeable, both with good fixtures, I'm picking Bamford. Yeah, he would be the one. If I for example, I'm thinking of doing Tony to Jimenez, but if I could afford Bamford, then I would probably do that over him. Well, I would do that over him.
Okay, so I'm getting a lot of stick by not being modest in the... Yeah, well, and as is picked first. Come on, what do you expect? What kind of reaction do you expect? Nihao says, Cat Antonio got a -2. Very bad luck. Had Ben Rama thinking of moving to Gray or Gallagher and benching Antonio for Ayling. Thoughts, mate? It's a great show. Keep growing. Yeah. Okay. Thinking of moving to Gray. Would you move Ben Rama out for Gray or Gallagher this week? Gallagher is at Anfield. Everton. Where are Everton this week? I haven't really.
Villa.
Right. Okay. I mean, it's just the Leeds fixture coming next to West Ham, isn't it? That I'd want to hold Ben Rama for. After that, Everton are at home to Norwich, though, so Gray does appeal. So, I mean, of the two, it would probably be Gray I'd be going for. Gallagher goes to... he's at home to Brighton in Gameweek 6, which is a good game for him, but Brighton defensively are strong. So I'd probably favour Gray in the short term if I was going to get Ben Rama out, but I'd probably keep him. What would you do there, Az?
Ben Rama's a frustrating one because I do like to see when a player's highly owned, and he is, and not really performing well, it is an opportunity to move him on for someone else if you're not really seeing signs.
He's had one game not performing, though.
Two. He hasn't scored points into. I mean, he was unlucky in the game before. I think Antonio could have threaded him through and he could have scored. But Vlasic coming in is a worry because there's going to, we saw it 60-minute sub. Vlasic coming on when things aren't going their way. That kind of player does concern me. And my point is, when they are highly owned, it can present itself as a bit of an opportunity. So I don't think selling Ben Rama is a terrible move. It's just I don't think Gray Gallagher are that good either. And I'm not sure it's worth it. I think they're all going to probably score fairly similarly over the next couple of weeks. Maybe even Ben Rama outscores them. So no, it's not for me. I wouldn't make that move personally. I'm not thinking of selling Ben Rama at the moment. I've got him. If I was going to sell him for one of those two, I'd sell him for Gallagher.
Okay, I think I'd sit tight as well because I want Ben Rama for the Leeds fixture. I want Antonio for the Leeds fixture. He's saying he would bench Antonio for Ayling this week. I think that's okay. I mean, Newcastle haven't got Callum Wilson. I predicted Newcastle will score, but there's every chance that, Leeds could play out a 1-0 and keep it tight. I mean, Newcastle got Sam Maximin. That's going to be the player they've got to keep quiet. Willock's out as well, let's face it. So actually, the Newcastle attack is Almiron and Sam Maximin. They could shut them down, right? If you do you get a clean sheet.
I just play Ayling and keep Benrahma.
Yeah,
I don't think you're going to see huge hauls from Gray and Gallagher. You're not going to massively regret it, and then you're going to go into the Leeds game with 2 good West Ham players.
Yeah, John Jiggs welcomes you to Hitchin as.
Woo!
Is he a local lad? Is he nearby?
I believe he's in Stevenage, which is just down the road. We met at Fest as well, which was nice. And
we did.
Go for a beer.
I met John. I remember now. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to go for a beer. So that's where I'm moving to. So if anyone's watching this and lives in and around the Hitchin area, give me a shout and we'll go for a beer.
Indeed. Right, what else have we got? Let's go down. Oh, we've got lots coming in. Oh, wow. Okay.
Have we?
Yeah. Have you not seen the chat?
Cheers, by the way. Cheers, by the way, Mark.
Yeah, well, you're on a whiskey. I'm on the Brewdog. Other beers are available. Not quite as good, though, really. If you're listening.
He likes that cash. And cheers, everyone who's watching and has maybe got a drink on this fine Wednesday evening.
Nikhil Suri, who's a regular in the Q&As and regular donating, so thanks for your support. Calvert-Lewin to Bamford or Jimenez plus Bowen to Sarr Athena plus Soufal to Semedo for a -8 or wild card.
My brain hurts. Hang on.
You don't need... Right. But why would you get rid of Bowen when he's going to play up front? He's going to play up front against United, Bowen. So you don't get rid of Bowen this week, do you?
No, definitely not. Calvert-Lewin to Bamford or Jimenez... Yes, I agree with that one.
Yes.
Bowen to Sarr or Rafinha, definitely not.
No.
And Soufal to Semedo. Surely you can just do Calvert-Lewin to Bamford and Soufal to Semedo.
For a -4. Would you even do that for a -4? Maybe.
No. I don't know.
Rest of the team is Trent, Shaw, Duffy, Livramento, Salah, Jota, Traore, Brownhill.
I would just do Calvert-Lewin to Bamford.
Yeah, I think I would as well.
Defensive transfers for a -4 never pay off.
No.
Bowen's now at prime to actually do quite well with Antonio being out, and you've got like Duffy, who probably on your bench you can just play against Leicester. Brownhill could come in. Nah, you don't need a -8.
No. Miena Sidom says, "Hi guys, should I -4 for Tanganga to Marcel Cody?"
No, not Tanganga. You didn't have Tanganga, did you, Miena?
He did.
Oh no,
he's coming clean on it. But Miena, I presumably you can't go Semedo, so it's a 4-5 only, right?
Depends on the rest of your defence. If you don't have a defence, if you've got other injuries and stuff, then yeah. But if you can play someone else, then just play them. I think I just never think a -4 for a defender is worth it. I was debating Simicast, but that was only because I wanted to get Jota in. I would never do a -4 for a defender. Otherwise, I just. If you've only got 2 defenders, then yes. If you've got 3 and you can get someone out, just get them out.
My boss is in chat, FBL Richie. Good to see it. All my team are out in force. I mean, I've obviously got a team full of community action men. They're all over the place, my team. Everywhere, full of them. Ekrem K says, "Hello, everyone. I'm EK from Mahrez Bag Holder. I'm a Mahrez Bag Holder." Is that one of the teams?
I don't know. Or maybe he's still got Mahrez.
I don't know. Maybe he
has.
Okay.
He has still got Mahrez.
Have the exact cash and Mahrez Simicast to Jota James for -4, or I could get Rafinha in. Would you do Mahrez Simicast to Jota James for -4? I would, I think.
100%. That sounds like 2 fantastic moves, long term, getting rid of 2 issues, getting in 2 strong players. It's a great -4. Love it.
Or I could get Rafinha no hit. No, I'd go Jota James.
I'd go Jota James. And this is, I know I just said about -4 for defender, but again, you're having to do that because presumably Simicast is blocking you from Jota.
Jota, yeah, and Jota's the key for me. I think he gets a goal in the next 2, at least, right, if he starts. And a lot of the talk is he's got that number 9 role now down. I'm not so certain about that, but I think Firmino could play the Champions Leagues and the more difficult games, and Jota will get the game. And let's not forget, Jota's in rotation with Mane too. So he could play Firmino and Jota and rest Mane, which he's done a couple of times last season. And I just think get on Jota now, get the couple of games out of him, see what more you can get out of him. But I think there's a haul coming in the next 2. And James is a long, for that 5-game haul, you'll get that -4 back then for sure.
Yeah,
right?
it's a really nice move.
Yeah. Steve Elbows, of course. Mr. Elbows is in the room. Who to bring off my bench to
Didn't
replace
grass me up,
Antonio?
I found out.
No, it
Did
wasn't
not.
Steve. Sorry,
No, it wasn't
Steve.
Steve.
I didn't want to do you as a grass, but it wasn't Steve. It was someone else. I'll find out who it was and thank them. I did actually thank them in Twitter. Who to replace Antonio with? Brandon Williams or Dennis? So Dennis is at Norwich. Brandon Williams is at home to Watford. So they're both in the same game. Who would you rather have, Williams or Dennis?
Christ, what a pick. I guess you've got to favour the striker.
Yeah, I think I always normally go with the attacking player in this scenario.
I mean, I'm banking on a Norwich 1-0 win, but again, it's not as easy as that. It's not always easy just picking the player or the thing that you think is going to. You've got to consider that I'm wrong. Well, only 10% of the time. No, that was smug.
Yeah, it was.
Dennis has got a bigger upside, so I'd pick Dennis.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Nikhil Suri's back again. Best Bowen replacement for 6'5" or under, Sarr for X3 or Athena.
Stop trying to sell Bowen.
Don't sell Bowen for a start yet. Wait for him to play the United game and probably the Leeds game as well. Who would you go for after that? Yeah, keep Bowen for a couple and then it's Rafinha, isn't it? It's not Sarr.
Yeah,
so I think
definitely.
It's simple.
Sarr's not that good.
Yeah. Sheriff, donation. No question. Thanks very much for your support there. Nichols back again. Calvert-Lewin. It's the same question. He's asked 3 times. We owe him a refund. Calvert-Lewin replaced at Bamford or Jimenez. It's Bamford. View on Bamford injury? Yeah, I think that... would you do it tonight? So Calvert-Lewin is dropping tonight. Would you wait for the pressers and absorb the 0-1 drop?
Now, that is a good question. I would wait.
Is he dropping tonight, though? This is the thing. I've often made moves, presuming a drop, and then it hasn't materialised. And one thing the sites aren't good at, fix or statistics. I'm doing fix a disservice because I don't use them as often. I've found is the drops, right? They don't always deliver. Well, they don't often deliver on the drops. Calvert-Lewin isn't dropping tonight according to FPL statistics, right? So it must be on fix you're getting that from. I would chance it. I would not make the move tonight and wait for the presser. And if you take a 0-1, you'll get that back, I think.
Yep.
I think that's worth being definite. Because I think if Bamford's fit, he's the one. I wouldn't take a risk and I wouldn't go Jimenez instead.
There's always the question mark of whether you should make the moves early anyway, even if there was no news about or no rumours about Bamford, whether you should do it early. When there is some element of doubt, I would always just stick. Because you'll just be kicking yourself. If there is something in it, and I don't think there is. I think there's like a 5% chance that it's something that could keep him out of the game. But if there was, and you've made the move early, you'll just be kicking yourself. I must
admit, this season so far, I've paid less attention to team value, and it's not like me. Normally, I'm right on top of it, but that international break where
it's because we're doing well.
Yeah, do you think...
mean, not that well, but we're doing okay.
Yeah. But over the break, because I thought to myself, I'm not going to make any transfers. I just divorced myself totally of watching the prices, and I was relaxed about it. And in many ways, I made the Lukaku move early because I thought he was going up 0-1, and I felt kind of pushed into that by the price rise, and eventually. Finally, he got his price rise last night, didn't he? First time. So I kind of have pushed back against the price rise of it and try not to let it influence me too much. But I am an advocate of early transfers. But like you said, in this scenario where there is some question marks, don't do it. Don't do it. Are you up to speed with the questions? Do you want to read the next few?
I am. Serena Irinki says, loves the show. Thank you very much. Is a 4-4-2 of Sanchez, Trent, Reece, Shaw, Semedo, Livramento, Salah, Torres, Gallagher, Sissoko, Ronaldo and Lukaku, and then a 4.5 fodder, a balanced 3 million draft. So I'll put it into easier format. So Sanchez in goal, and then 4 at the back with Trent, Reece, Shaw and Semedo.
And Livramento. That's fine.
Is it? Well, I'm putting it into a formation.
Like okay. So Livramento's on the bench, right?
So Livramento on the bench, and then Salah, Torres, Gallagher. So that's 4-3, and then
Sissoko's playing then. So basically, one of Sissoko or Livramento has to play.
Yeah, that's definitely not a balanced 3-beam draft.
No, I mean that's the problem. I mean, I think if you've got to play Livramento every week, or you've got to play Sissoko at all, then I think you'll go. I mean, I just think you're.
There's a midfielder missing.
Is there?
Yeah, because there's Salah, Torres, Gallagher, Sissoko. There should be a fifth midfielder. So without knowing the fifth midfielder,
it's a 4-4-2. So it's Trent, Reece, Shaw, Semedo, Salah, Torres, Gallagher, Sissoko, Ronaldo, Lukaku. Yeah, 4-4-2 it is. With Sissoko in the team, or you have to play Livramento.
So there's Livramento, 2 presumably 4.5 midfielders and a 4.5 forward.
Yeah, it looks that way. Presumably the other 2 players just aren't worth mentioning.
No, I hate it. I hate it so much.
Because it comes down to the fact that you've got Ronaldo, who, quite frankly, with the fixtures that United have got, may not keep pace with even Bamford or a player like that, right? Because he's got stronger fixtures. You're not going to captain Ronaldo, so I don't think. I think you're going to captain Salah or Lukaku mainly. I don't know if it's worth busting your team and having to play Livramento or Sissoko every week to get Ronaldo in, and when you're not going to captain
There's too much in defence. You can't have Trent, James, Shaw.
Just get rid of Shaw.
Semedo.
I would get rid of Shaw.
Yeah.
Then you might look better because you don't need Shaw for those fixtures.
Yeah.
So I'd maybe downgrade him to
Shaw to Williams and then Sissoko up to like Gray or to Corey or
Gallagher.
Someone. She's got Gallagher. I think
Right.
Gallagher's already there.
But even so, I still wouldn't do it. In my view, is the freemium is not for me.
I don't like it.
But yeah, if you're going to do that, I would look at getting rid of Shaw, getting a 4.5 defender in there, and then using that million to get Sissoko up to another 5.5.
Yep.
Okay. Next one, Emu Show. This is his wild card.
Wild card.
Backman, still sticking around Backman and Steele. Tierney, Trent. Tierney, not seeing a lot of Tierney love, but his fixtures do get better. Yep. Tierney, Trent, Marcel, Livramento, Williams, 2 budget defenders.
Yep, I think that's fine, completely fine.
No Chelsea.
No Chelsea.
Salah, I know what's coming here. Salah,
KDB,
Rafinha, Gray, Trincao, Bamford, Lukaku. This is different. It's not what I thought was coming at all.
It's pretty into a formation that I understand. I find it hard with these.
Yeah.
Tierney.
It's very different.
Trent,
I mean, that would get moderately differential, which is a rather half explanation. I've seen that on live FPL. You get like a 56% template, and you're described as moderately differential. I would say that's incredibly differential. I think this is a very differential thing. I quite like it.
My understanding is it's a 3-5-2. Backman, Tierney, Trent, Marcel, Salah, De Bruyne, Rafinha, Gray, Trincao, Bamford, Lukaku.
Yeah, I mean, Gray, surely, I sound like one of the algo guys here. Surely not sustainable. Trincao is getting 60 minutes, and there's a chance with Podence that he starts. I don't think he does. I think he's a great player, Trincao. So I like him, but there is question marks over his minutes. Bamford, Lukaku, and a 4-5 strike. So you're playing Bamford and Lukaku. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that two are good. It's KDB, I guess. I mean, is that a stretch too far? Do you need to go to KDB at this point? I'd argue that you're trying to be clever there. I mean, I don't like to be clever. I will play safe.
It does seem like a lot for KDB, but equally, I don't want to tell someone not to go for him just because I don't think he's a particularly good option. That, you know, I look at this team and I think it's quite good. I think you make good points about Trincao. I think he might be someone that is maybe. His underlying stats are good.
He's a great player to watch.
Great player to watch, but I just worried that his minutes are going to be in doubt. KDB, it does seem like a lot of money for someone who's just getting back from injury, but he did play. He played today.
Yeah, how did he play tonight?
Got an assist for an own goal. Not sure about the specifics. Do you know what? I'm not going to say change anything. I think I think Trincao is someone, as long as you acknowledge that Trincao is a risk. He's a cheap risk, but he is still a risk with his minutes. And De Bruyne is a risk because he's expensive as well. But other than that, I like all the other players.
The thing is with De Bruyne,
yeah,
he got 70 minutes tonight. He's coming back. I think it's too early to move for him myself.
Yeah, you could just have him as Fernandes, for example. If you wanted an easy route to De Bruyne when he's up to speed, keep it as Fernandes and then just switch him over to De Bruyne when he's had a couple of games.
Yeah, I think you need to see De Bruyne in the team, see what role he's playing with Grealish. We haven't seen the two play together. If he gets pushed into the false nine, well, is that good for him or not? I don't know. Was he better in the false nine or was he better coming from deep? I'd argue he's better coming from deep, but I just want to see him play for a couple of games. I hope he does emerge as a factor in our season, but I just think he's badly priced.
Yeah.
He needs to come down further. What is he these days? Has he come down that much?
He's like 11.5, 12. I think he was 12 at the start of the
He was
season.
12,
Same price
yeah.
as-
He was 12, which is far too much. But
down to
what is he now?
11.8, 11.9, something like that.
He is now 11.9. It's not. No, I don't want to pay 11.9 for him. I think he'll struggle to justify that price all season.
Fernandez will outscore him, I would imagine, for the next couple of weeks. But I wouldn't even recommend him.
But it's just the City goals and points are shared, aren't they? That's the problem. I don't see anyone monopolising the points in that City team.
It is interesting because that team doesn't look weak, and then you take De Bruyne out for like Torres, and you suddenly got 5 million to spend on other players.
Yeah, I would do that. I would just go Torres for now, ride out the number 9, and spread the money.
Because you could do KDB and Trincao, for example, to Jota and Torres. Surely Jota and Torres outscores De Bruyne and Trincao.
Yeah, and then you still have some money left, and you would upgrade, get your Chelsea defender in at that point.
Yeah.
So I would definitely do that. I would ride out the Jota and Torres situations. They're both playing up front at the moment. Get on that as soon as you can, and then get your Chelsea defender in is what I'd say, and then look at KDB later when he's settled. I think that's sound advice.
We got there in the end. We spent ages on that one.
I know, but I think it's good that we do it properly. You know.
You've got to do it properly.
Yeah,
I don't at all. Yeah. Kamsi with 3 E's. I've had a whiskey. You can tell I'm blood vision. Nice. This whiskey was bought for me by. I had the people buying this house over, and
they bought you a bottle of whiskey.
Around. They bought me not just a bottle of whiskey. They bought me a really, really nice bottle of whiskey.
They obviously feel like they got a great deal. They see you coming.
Yeah, I know. Oh, God, I sold it way too cheap. But yeah, no, it's really nice. Kamsi, Soufal to Semedo for a -4. Will be stuck starting Sissoko this week otherwise. It's a bit like me and Gilmore, to be fair. It's a good week to be playing like a Gilmore or a Sissoko or something because they've got a fairly decent fixture. Soufal then goes into 2 good games. Semedo, I don't think Semedo's worth a -4.
No. I mean, the only thing is, Semedo's got good fixtures and you might get it back eventually.
Yeah. I wouldn't do it.
Sissoko had a chance at the weekend. He'll get forward. I'd rather have Sissoko than Gilmore, I think.
Yeah.
Well, Sissoko's had goals in him before. He had that spell at Newcastle years back where he actually looked like a dangerous box-to-box midfielder. And Watford aren't playing him in a holding role necessarily. He's getting forward.
But what about my incredibly unproven theory that Gilmore's going to get further forward with this new midfielder that Norwich have signed?
I don't see that new midfielder, whoever it may be, coming straight in. So I don't. It might have legs, but I don't see it. Sorry to pee on your chips there, I'm afraid.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do that move.
No. Okay. Abinu Jogani. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Wilson and Tony out for Bamford and Pookie. Is that free? If it's free, I would probably do. I mean, Wilson's out, right? Tony has got tough fixtures coming up straight away. He's got this game at Wolves, and then it turns for him, doesn't it? Pookie's got a good run. If that's free, I'd probably do it.
Pookie.
What is wrong with your? What's wrong with you? What Pookie? I like him. He's a good player. Norwich, if Norwich going to score, he's got his hand in it. Surely. You just don't see Norwich scoring, do you?
I mean, I would just keep Tony. I'd rather have Tony, even with rough fixtures, than Pookie.
So you go Wilson to Bamford. Can he? He can't afford that though. Can he?
I'm guessing he needs the Tony to Pookie money. I mean, there's not a huge. There's only 0.4. If you can just do Wilson to Bamford, then I'll just do that. Nah, don't like it.
All right. Sam O'Brien gives us a donation and says, "Would you swap Torres for Rafinha?" Well, that's a simple one. No.
No.
I mean, it's the feeling that he's not going to play Saturday now because he played tonight. Did he play the full game? No, he went off after 72.
They won 6-3, City. Cancelo scored.
He didn't score, did he?
Cancelo did. Torres did not score.
Problem is, Cancelo played the whole bloody 90. I really want to go Cancelo.
And he had one of the lowest ratings according to BBC Sport, depending on how much you put into that. He did come off after 72 minutes, though. So I would guess that he starts against Southampton.
I would think so.
I would 100% not take Torres out for Rafinha.
No,
I can say that for.
Yeah, I agree with that.
For fact. Just one you missed. Zvonimir Boban says we're all rightly obsessed with current stats and performances, but a pick from both of you on a player to explode who nobody is talking about.
What a great question.
That is a great question.
Unbelievably good question. I'm gonna have to dip into the player database and have a look and see who springs to mind.
I can tell you my one while you stall.
Yeah, I'm stalling.
Well, mine would be Tierney.
Yeah, I like Tierney. Yeah.
I think Arsenal have got a good run. It's just whether he can stay injury free. No one's really got him in their side. You saw in the first game against Brentford the creative potential he's got. I think he could hit he could hit a 15, 20 pointer at some point in the next few weeks.
I mean, I'm going to look at Arsenal's fixtures, but they are strong. I think they come good. I know, you got other players in there as well, Smith Rowe, Saka, Pepe as well, who could come good out of that. I'm just going to have a look at the ticker and see who pops out for me. I mean, Arsenal got good fixtures. We know. I do like Trincao of the Wolves players. If I was going to go a Wolves player, I would go for him.
Trincao?
Yeah, if I was going to go Wolves attacker, I would go Trincao over Traore.
Really?
I'd like to, yeah. I think that I like Trincao as a player. I like what I see, and I don't see him getting dropped, really. His starts are in question, I guess, once Podence is fully fit.
We just told people to sell him.
No, I don't think I'd get him in on the wild card, but I think he's a player that at some point, if we can be certain if he starts, I think he will start delivering. I would say Willock if I thought he was fit, but he's apparently going to be out for some time as well.
Willock, come on.
I would. I think Willock's got good fixtures, and I think that what Bruce showed on Saturday surprised me. I thought he would, when it's 1-0 down, they would just stick at it and take the 1-0, 2-0. But he actually did keep trying to attack, which actually lost them the game by a bigger margin. So I do think now when he's got Wilson and Willock on the pitch, he has resigned to the fact that he can't play the brand of football he did for spells last season. I think he's realising he's got to attack. So I do think that there's some potential in that Newcastle attack eventually. But sadly,
I remember you saying something similar before that Sheffield United game, and it was they were lined up with 5 at the back, and it was the most like
awful,
so bad. Yeah, no, I think it was me actually. I was saying, "Oh, see, Bruce, he's gone really attacking now. They're like, a whole new side." And then 5 at the back at Sheffield United, and they lose 1-0.
Yeah, well, it was a vital game, wasn't it? So you knew how that was going to go. I'm struggling here for a name that we haven't mentioned, to be honest. I don't see. I mean, I think Pookie is a decent bet for the next 4, given the fixtures he's got.
I've got another one.
Oh, go on, and have you?
I have Romain Saiss
For Wolves.
So a lot of people talking about Marcel and Semedo and stuff. Saiss is right up there for out of defenders for shots in the box.
He's had 2 incredible chances to score.
Really, really good chances. And I think Luke said it in one of our WhatsApp chats. He fancies Saiss to get a goal before Semedo does, and I'd completely agree with that. And Semedo's already like 2% owned. Saiss is even less. I like Saiss.
Yeah. No, you've trumped me there. No one leaps out for me that we haven't talked about on a regular basis as yet. I think Watkins, you touched on tonight, would be my one to watch because I really like what I saw, but the fixtures are so bad. I think come round to game week 8, Watkins could be really back on our radar, and we might be looking at 3 up front with Watkins. So I think I would say him at the moment based on what I saw in that game. It just looked like. I mean, I'm anticipating he'll kick on. Right, he had a very good season last season. But what I saw of him, it just shocked me that he immediately turned in that performance. He held the ball up brilliantly. Ings was nowhere. Ings wasn't really a factor in that game.
No.
And I think that if he stays in that, if they play 3-5-2 with Cash wing back, and Cash is another player to look at. There you go, Cash and Watkins. Not yet, but I think when the fixtures turn, those 2 will be very handy. I think because Watkins will be about 7-1. Cash is cheap. Yeah. But
Cash is cheap. That's nice.
He's such a good player going forward that returns for him when they have better fixtures around the corner, I think, in the 3-5-2, if that's what they stick with. So there you go. Yep. There you go, Zovamir. A couple there for you. Hopefully that meets the requirements. Ankit Chatterjee is back in the chat, and thanks very much for the super chat. Here we go with his team. Are you ready? Are you writing this down? Are you getting this formation? Schmeichel, Semedo, Duffy, Marcel, so it's 3-man defence. Traore, Salah, Gundogan, Odegaard, Interesting. Okay. Odegaard. And then 3 up front is Richarlison, Lukaku, and some fella called Ronaldo.
Different.
He has 2 million in the bank. What would you change? Love the show, guys. Look forward to it. Thank you, Ankit. I know you've been a supporter for a while. Right. What would you change here? Richarlison's an interesting pick, isn't he? Because he'll play up front. He's on penalties while Calvert-Lewin's out.
I like him. I like him for the next couple of weeks. I don't think I'd buy him, but I definitely wouldn't be looking to get rid of him.
What do you think of Gundogan?
Yeah.
I love him as a player. As a fantasy asset. He didn't play tonight, did he, right? He came on after the hour mark, so he starts.
Wouldn't be selling him. I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't be selling any of Salah, Gundogan, Odegaard, Richarlison, Lukaku.
But is this his wild card or is this his team now?
I'm guessing it's just a transfer.
Right.
So there's no trend. That's the biggest thing that jumps out. I would be half tempted to sell Traore. I think I would do Traore to Jota. How's that for a move?
Oh, he's got 2 million in the bank.
2 million in the bank. Traore, I'm just not sure about. I not only is he frustrating, but his stats have been poor the last 2 game weeks as well. And this is prime Jota time. So that's my move. Traore to Jota, you can't really argue with that, can you?
No, I mean, I'm a big supporter of Jota over the next 2. I do worry that there's no Trent in there, though.
You can't get him. You can't get him in one move, though.
No, and you can't get him in one move, and you've got the Triforce, Triumphant, the freemium, right, with Salah, Lukaku, and Adam. You've paid the Trent tax to get that. I think, yeah, in one move, yeah, Traore to Jota, I would endorse. Gundogan, I would keep, given that he didn't start tonight, so he should start Southampton. I like the Odegaard pick. What do you make of that?
Again, it's not one that I'd probably go for, but with Burnley away in a game that I think they should win, I would probably keep him. I really rate him as a player. Obviously, he was good for them last season. He made a massive difference. I'd love for him to be a proper FPL option. I think it's too soon. It reminds me of when I had what was his name? Who was the Arsenal number 10 they signed a few years ago? Came from Real Madrid. They had him for 2 years. What was his name? The chat will be able to tell me. He was 5 million.
Sorry, go through that again.
Arsenal signed a midfielder, a number 10 from Real Madrid.
Oh yeah, of course. Can't remember his name either.
Not Ozil.
No, he was
Ceballos. Thank you.
You must have had him at some point. He's the kind of player you have in for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I had him straight away, didn't I?
Did you? Did you go straight in? Oh,
yeah, pretty much.
Word.
Well, I went straight in after his only double-digit haul of the season, and yeah,
he looked good in that first game. He was on all set pieces, wasn't he?
He was all set pieces. I brought him in, got really excited. He did nothing for me for ages. I do wonder if Odegaard's going to be a bit similar to that.
I like Odegaard. I just don't think the returns are there.
Well, that's what I mean. He obviously he's a class, but Ceballos was a classy player, but the FPL returns weren't there. So I that's my worry.
Would you go Traore out though this week when they've got Watford at home? I mean, I wouldn't.
For Jota, yeah, with Palace at home, yeah, I would.
Would you?
Yep.
Yeah, I think your first priority is trying to find a way of turning that 2 million into getting Trent back. But how you do that, I guess you've got to lose Richarlison and go for a 6-5 eventually, and then get Trent back in that defence. Would you go Duffy over Veltman now if you were picking a bar? Given that Webster's out for a while, is he? No, you still wouldn't.
Athletic are reporting that Lamptey might make the cup game.
So do you see Veltman ending up in the back three?
Yeah.
Do you? Do you rate him that highly? You think Potter does?
Oh, yeah, for sure. He's absolutely brilliant. Honestly, he's such a good player. The Webster injury is interesting. If Webster's out for a while, I think it means that Veltman will slot straight back into centre back. I think, and then it will go back to having Gross at right wing back. So it means that Veltman is a less good option going forward anyway. But also, I think it cements Duffy's position. I think Veltman offers quite a lot. I mean, we saw, as I mentioned, got a yellow card, got some bonus. If he is carrying on at right wing back, he's got a bit more attacking threat, like generally from open play, and he's more nailed in the team. So I think he's worth it. And it's only 0.2 difference now, I think, between them. So if you really feel the need to have a Brighton defender, Veltman's my pick.
Interesting. Delia's in the house. Lovely Delia.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
And she's thanking me for some advice. She messaged me on Twitter and asked for some advice, and she was going to get rid of Trent. And I you know how I feel about Trent. And I said, look, I like your team, but find a way of not getting rid of Trent. And lo and behold, Trent turns up with the 12 points, and I look like I've done her a favour. When really, I think my advice was quite obvious. But thanks very much, Delia, for the super chat and your support.
Sometimes the obvious stuff needs to be said because you are trying to be too clever with other stuff. I've benefited from you on that. Just saying that it's just
Nice work both ways.
Yeah.
Work both ways. There's a lot of love going on tonight. We've got to change
There
that.
is. Nice. Yeah.
William says, thanks again, Zilio. William says, why is no one talking about Richarlison as Calvert-Lewin would likely be on penalties and playing on top? Exactly, that's what we just said.
Yeah.
Maybe we have overlooked Richarlison. What are Everton's fixtures like? Because obviously they've had a good start to the season.
I'm going to say again, all fart, no poo.
You don't like him at all. Norwich
really.
game week 6, you see, right? I had Calvert-Lewin as a differential captain. If you had Richarlison, you'd hold him, right? If you didn't have him, a replacement, it makes sense, doesn't it? Calvert-Lewin to Richarlison, don't you think?
It is interesting because I have to say I haven't really considered him, but it was only on the chat we had a second ago that I thought actually he's going to be playing up top. He's going to be on penalties. Calvert-Lewin could be out for a while. I really don't think he's a bad pick going forward. He will frustrate. Like there's these brackets of players, and I talked about it earlier. Richarlison is so much in the frustrating camp because he's got so much talent. He's like his talent is like unquestionable.
He can do it all. He can score all kinds of goals, right?
His attitude is awful, like absolutely awful. But you've got to think maybe he's going to like being the main man again. Because Calvert-Lewin's kind of overshadowed him for quite a while, like for the last season or so, and he's going to be the one probably tasked with doing. But again, last week didn't get any points. It was a fairly big win for Everton against Burnley. No points for Richarlison. Subbed off early as well, I think 70 minutes, something like that. So he's a gamble, but I wouldn't say no to it.
It's funny. He's got one of those demeanours and one of those way he presents on
pouty faces. Yeah,
he looks miserable at all times, doesn't he? It's like Martial in that you struggle to see. You don't watch the game and think, oh, he's really enjoying this game. He's really on his game. He's looking
he hates
really
football.
Up. It looks like he does, doesn't he? It looks like he's like, what am I doing here? What am I doing here as this Brazilian wonder kid?
Asso Kotu, do you remember him for Spurs? I remember he did a press conference and he was like, I hate playing football, but I'm good at it and I get loads of money.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was a thing for a while in FPL, Asso Kotu.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right. Jordan Shales is saying the same as William. Why is no one talking about Richarlison for game week 5 and 6? I think here and now we maybe didn't touch on him in the show and maybe doing him a disservice because I do think I do think that those two fixtures stand out. The Norwich game looks like it's there for the taking for somebody, and I think a short-term punt and the fixtures after the United game are good as well. And I think what's going to happen is he'll get a penalty, score it, and then he'll go, well, I'm not giving him back the Calvert-Lewin. There's going to be a lot for Rafa to deal with there, I think. Okay, Zomami is back. Torres bench for then to 2 bad fixtures. Sell option. Torres bench then 2 bad fixtures. Why he obviously thinks Torres is going to get benched.
Sell? No, absolutely don't sell him. You can't sell him before Southampton at home. No, I mean, again, Jota's there. You could potentially move to him, but not this week. No,
I don't see it. Keep bad fixtures for City, Chelsea, Liverpool. They are. I mean, they're the 2 toughest fixtures for them coming up. Right. So if City aren't going to produce in a game, it'd be those next 2. They're up against their fiercest competitors away from home. 2 strong defences. So I can see the logic, but I would hold him for this one and see. I wouldn't get rid going into the Southampton game. You go, look what happened to me when I got rid. Blimey. UNFBL says Antonio to Bamford or Gilmour to Gray and bench Antonio. Gilmour to Gray and bench Antonio.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
Yeah.
That's an easy one.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say Gilmour to Decore, as I've said for multiple days. I think Decore is a better option than Gray. Gray will try out. Decore's playing in a nice advanced role, getting assists, getting goals, looking really, really good. He looks better than Gray from what I've seen.
Right, okay. Savannah says he forgot Rafinha. Mo, Rafinha, Torres, Gallagher, midfield. Right.
There you go.
Right. Have you got his team still up there? Because I can't remember where we got to with that one.
No, but it means it's better basically than we thought it was.
So Livramento and Sissoko won't play.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah. So yeah.
It looked a good team then in that case.
Yeah, whatever we said, it's now better. So that's fine.
The content people love, right? That's why they're here, right?
That's what you pay for.
Nickel's giving us another donation and thanking us for our advice. No problem, Nickel. Thank you for your support. Sajid Banerjee says, hold Kane for Arsenal, Villa, Norwich, or get off and go for Lukaku.
Run. Dump him and run. Dump him and run. I mean,
Lukaku's got that run coming up where you're going to go to him anyway, right? So in 2 weeks' time, you're going to move to Lukaku, surely. So really, it's whether or not you can stand having Lukaku at home to City.
That's the easiest super chat of the night.
I mean, it's for Kane, it's Chelsea, Arsenal. The Arsenal game, I guess, Kane could hurt you in. You don't see it, no? Without Son, you think it's a... I mean, all the talk is Son's out for a while because didn't Spurs say, or somebody said something about, we can't talk about Son's situation yet, there'll be a club statement soon, and people saying, if it's a club statement, it must be he's out for a while. So is that your theory as well, that Son's going to be out for a few months?
No, I thought the opposite. I'd seen something that said his injury wasn't as bad as they feared, and
right, okay, right,
but
might not be up to speed with the latest.
I might be making that up. I have had a whiskey. Yeah, not sure. We need to wait for the Son news. I just think Kane is going to be a player who just every week you think to yourself, why the hell have I still got Kane? Like, honestly, if you've still got Kane, look at the heat map of Kane against Palace. I would rather have Lukaku against City. I know City have got amazing underlying defensive numbers, but Lukaku is in great form, playing for a miles better side.
It's hard to argue
point
against
of everything,
that. And you're going to want him from 7 anyway.
And you're going to want to do that. Just get you've got to ditch Kane. He's not worth the money.
Yeah. Okay.
He's the worst premium in the game. Would you argue against that?
Yeah, maybe not. I would say Ronaldo is. Sorry, what was that? Clement Leroux has given us a wildcard king. Get ready here. Sanchez with Gunn, the reserve keeper. Trent Alonso. Trent Alonso Shaw with Williams and Marcel as a reserve defenders. So it's a 3-5-2, I imagine, coming up. Salah, Jota, Torres, Sarr, great, strong. Ronaldo, Dennis and Antonio on the bench for this week. Do Antonio and Dennis to Bamford on a 4-5 forward? No. No, I think that's all right. You just carry Antonio this week. Is this a good wild card?
Alonso.
You go James, wouldn't you?
Yeah, surely you go James.
I mean, Alonso's there for now. He was captain the other week.
I know. But Chilwell, did you see the comments from Tuchel saying Chilwell wasn't in the right headspace to play because he didn't play for England? So I think now we're going to start seeing the rotation between them. If
Chilwell had started last night, I would have gone Alonso for my defender this week. But he didn't. And Alonso started. And I don't think Alonso loses his place yet.
I don't believe you.
I was going to. If I could be 100% certain Alonso starts at Spurs.
Which you never can.
No, if I could be, I'd get him.
I would pick James over him anyway.
Well, I would for the long term, but for short term at Spurs with a weakened defence, and they're weakened on the right side. I mean, is Doherty going to play right back, I guess, at the weekend? Because Uriel's gone. Tanganga's out.
They've got their new boy, haven't they?
Oh, Royale, yeah. Royal, yeah. Is he? Okay, so he can play.
Like Royale. It's like in a Pulp Fiction. Royale with cheese.
Burger King, yeah. I thought he was a left back. Is he a left back or right back? I don't know a lot about him. He's a right back. Okay, so fair enough.
You've had a beer, Mark.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, gone.
He's your replacement.
I still fancied Alonso in that game. But long term, if you're wild carding, you don't want to be... Maybe you could take a risk on him. Depends what transfers you've got coming up. He's got Sarr and Gray. He hasn't got many immediate transfers, mate. So I think Alonso for short term is not a bad idea, actually. I'll take that back.
I hate it.
Do you?
James over Alonso any day.
James eventually, but Alonso for this week.
Yeah, but it's not... But why bank yourself a transfer of a sideways move from Alonso to James?
Because Alonso's got more returns in him than James, I think.
What, for 1 week?
Oh, yeah, he has. And if you're looking at it going, right, well, I'll get rid of Alonso in a couple of weeks when Chilwell's a thing. not too bad an idea.
Yeah, no, I don't agree. I don't know. I just don't know why you'd book yourself a move.
Well, because I like one or two risks in the wild card, and I think that's what Alonso is, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But
I think it's a good move. James.
Yeah, I guess the issue with that is you're banking on a transfer, and you've already got Jota and Torres who could drop out. So maybe it is risky because you've got two players there who you might need to transfer out. If Torres does get rested and Firmino is back, suddenly you've got question marks over those two. You don't want to be dealing with Alonso as well, so maybe it is too much. But I think if you put James in for Alonso, I wouldn't keep Shaw myself, which is strange because I did say that he was a mainstay in every wild card. But I keep seeing United conceding goals and keep wondering whether, going a Cancelo or a second Chelsea defender is the way to go.
Yeah, it's why the wildcard this week isn't really appealing to me. It's why I want to save it, because I probably would go Shaw this week, but I completely agree with what you said earlier. Well, no surprise with this podcast this week. But James and Rudiger look so strong.
Yeah. Rudiger last night, do you see him? He nearly went the length of the pitch and had a shot.
I don't know what's happened to him. Don't know what's happened to him in the last 6 months. It's gone absolutely nuts. I think he genuinely is one of the best. He's one of the best defenders in the world at the moment.
He's grown,
basically out the door by Lampard.
Yeah, he has grown. I mean, like Alonso, who's got better under Tuchel. But yeah, okay, I would go James in for Alonso. I would maybe leave. That would be the only thing I would do. I would keep Dennis and Antonio for this week. Antonio on the bench ready for the Leeds game. I just think if you can afford to give Leeds a bit more time and look at the eye test, I would, because I think if you're not pushed into doing Bamford because you've got Calvert-Lewin, which this guy isn't, going Bamford this early might be worth seeing Leeds for a couple more games. And Antonio, he's not a player to do without, I don't think, yet. So yeah, that's fine.
Yep.
Yeah, obviously he's got to make. I was going to say another transfer he's booked is of course Ronaldo to Lukaku, I imagine, coming up. So yeah, James for Alonso. Stephen Gallagher, I have to play 4-5-1 this week. To take out Calvert-Lewin, okay, would you go to Bamford or bring Ronaldo for the -4 for Fernandes, either Fino and Jota? So basically, take Fernandes out, get a replacement, and go Ronaldo in for Calvert-Lewin. Depends who he can get in for Fernandes, right?
Yeah, would you go? Would you go for Bamford and bring him around?
Is he talking about getting one of Fino in or Jota in for Ronaldo?
I think it's you either make the easy move, which is you do DCL for Bamford, or you take a hit and get Fernandes. But I don't think he's specifying who the other person is on the list. He's already got Rafinha and Jota. Yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to say who. It depends what the -4 is on that move. I mean, I would obviously favour going for Ronaldo over Bamford. It depends how much you're massively weakening the rest of your squad. I mean, to me, I did the -4 this week for Fernandes to Ronaldo, and then I did. What was my other move, Mark? Can't even remember. What were my moves this week? I did.
How many whiskies have you had? I'll have a look.
I did Fernandes.
Good job this is the Q&A, not the show.
I remember I did Fernandes to Greenwood and Ings to Ronaldo. So
they were easy, weren't they?
Assuming you could do that yourself, so you could essentially do Calvert-Lewin and Ronaldo, do that move, and then bring in Greenwood for Fernandes. I would still do that this week. That's my point.
Would you?
If I could, yeah. Or get Jota. Oh, he's already got Jota. Yeah, Greenwood. There you go. Get Greenwood and Ronaldo.
Right.
Or Torres.
Yeah, probably makes sense. I do want... You're going for Ronaldo though for a couple of weeks and then you're moving him out again. That's the only thing. So there is the option to go Lukaku, but then you've got the City game. But maybe he's got Lukaku. Maybe it's a freemium team. I don't know. Yeah, okay, that's fine.
A quick shout out. There's a guy in the chat called Joel Llewellyn, who I believe, unless it's another Joel Llewellyn, which is probably quite unlikely, is one of my university friends, who I didn't know listened to these Q&A
University
podcasts.
Friends?
University friend Joel. So hi Joel.
That's your dad in, your uni friends. What's coming up next?
No, all the support.
Yeah, it's nice. You don't need it really tonight. You've had a good night. Game World, thanks for the super chat. Great work, guys. Right, Ronaldo, Antonio, Lukaku, Salah, Jota, Gallagher, Traore, Trent, Marcel, you're taking this down, Livramento, Williams and Sanchez. Wildcard
It's
feedback, please.
Such a horrible order as well.
Yeah, he's it's like one of those team sheets who put it in the squad number order and then you've got to
Don't make it
rearrange the
easy for us.
formation,
Bloody
right?
hell.
Right, I'll go. Who's the goalkeepers? No idea who the goal. Sanchez in goal, right? Sanchez in goal. He's got a defence of Marcel Trent, Williams and Livramento.
Hang on, I'm on it. So I've got Sanchez in goal,
Yeah.
Williams, Livramento, Marcel, Trent.
Yeah, and then
I don't
midfield,
I don't have a
Traore. There's no fifth defender.
Traore, Jota, Salah, Gallagher.
Yeah, Lukaku, Antonio, Ronaldo. So this is his team for this week, presumably. He's presumably got players that he's too ashamed to mention on the bench, right?
I mean, but he's already got Williams and Livramento, so who else can he have that's an embarrassment?
Well, he could have Perica, couldn't he? Like that. Or, so, do I think that's a good wild card? So presumably you've got real bench fodder, so you've got nothing to fall back on at all. Does that mean you're playing Williams and Livramento every week?
It's impossible to judge. I need to know who the fifth defender is. I need to know who the fifth midfielder is.
Yeah. Presumably, though, they're like Sissoko and another 4 million defender. I don't know.
It can't be another 4. I don't know. It's hard to. I mean, the players you've mentioned are all good, unless you're playing Williams every week.
Yeah. If you're playing one of Williams or Livramento every week. I mean, Livramento, let's talk about Livramento being pushed forward permanently. Have you heard about this? Walker Peters playing behind and
that seems a very
pie in sky, is it?
Yeah, just a bit. He is good going forward and abject defensively, but there's more chance he probably just doesn't play if he's crap in defence and that's his position.
I mean, this comes down to the fears that I had when I talked about the balanced team tonight. Whereas every week with your transfers, the scope of your changes are going to be, who do I get in for Gallagher, Traore, or one of my 4 million defenders? So all you're going to be able to change is Gallagher and Traore every week. So your ability to actually make a difference and adapt this team to fixtures and form is more or less gone.
Yeah.
So you've got to hope to God that your freemium strategy comes in terms of, does Ronaldo, when you're not captaining him, warrant that 12.5? And I would argue with the fixtures they've got, I don't think he will.
It worked for Joe last season, didn't it?
It did. He did do this, yeah.
He had Souček, who was his kind of playing every week 5 million midfielder, and it went quite well. So
what did he do? Did he do Kane, Salah, Bruno? Is that what he had? Yeah, he did, didn't he?
That's right. Yeah, Kane, Salah, Bruno. So it can work out, and it could be that Gallagher does emerge as that kind of enabler, but again, the fixtures are tough, so it's hard to judge. It's very hard to judge his wildcard team, but I mean, I like all the players that you've said. I think everything we've said tonight, though, Mark, covers it because it's the same thing. You've got 3 premiums in Trent. There's going to be sacrifices. It's whether you're happy with those 5.5 options. One thing I like about this week is I've got 2 free transfers, and I'm making transfers that could make a difference to my team. And I think that's part of the FPL magic. And when you put yourself in a situation where suddenly you're not able to do that, you've got to be doing well, or otherwise you just feel miserable because, okay, who am I going to get in for 6 million this week in midfield? It's like there's no fun there. And it's all about making this game fun to play. And I know getting loads of points is fun, but I would say there's every chance that you can do better with a Bamford and 5 million in your pocket, or 4.5 million in your pocket, than you can Ronaldo if you're not going to captain him. Yep.
In my opinion, over the next fixtures. Because United's fixtures are bad. When it hits game week 14, 15, look again then. Because I don't think we're going to want to get rid of Lukaku or Salah then. And United's fixtures are so good, who else are we going to get on? So I think then we have to look at the freemium situation again. But at the moment...
Freemium, you're really pushing this, aren't you?
Yeah, well, Tom will love it because he invented it. So
we've got 3 more.
Three more. You read them out, Daz. Go on, I'll have a rest while you read these out.
We will. So no more super chats, please. We will just take these 3. Gurav says Son and Antonio to Rafinha and Lukaku. Sounds pretty good. -4. We'll then have Ronaldo, Lukaku, Greenwood, Gray, Salah, Benrahma, Rafinha, Trent, Shaw, and White.
His overall rank is 22k.
Yeah, I mean that shouldn't really affect things, though, should it?
No, I'm just saying he's doing well, so we've got to be careful here.
Son and Antonio to Rafinha and Lukaku sounds like a good move to me, even for a hit. Bearing in mind, probably neither of them will play.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, you're getting the points back. You're getting the hit back straight away because you've got 2 players out, right? So you're getting those points back.
It's a shame you're losing Antonio, but it is for Lukaku.
Yeah, I think Lukaku gets something at Spurs myself.
Mm.
And then he's going to have a freemium team, right? And I haven't seen the rest of the squad, so I don't know what options he's got. But again, you're in the situation there where it's then Gray and Benrahma are your disposables probably, and that's what you're doing with your transfers. But, maybe that's okay. Or you're looking at a 4-5 defender.
The team looks pretty good, to be fair. Ronaldo and Lukaku up top, Greenwood, Gray, Salah, Benrahma, Rafinha, and then Trent, Shaw and White. That almost looks too good to be true.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, White will do okay with him over these fixtures, I think. And there's nothing. I mean, I guess Greenwood to Jota, Greenwood to Torres is a transfer coming up as well, maybe. Because I don't think you want to go into United's fixtures with 3 of their players. I don't think United are good enough to come out of this fixture run with enough to warrant taking 3 of their players into it. But so Greenwood or Shaw will probably go. But it's a good team. Yeah, I would do it. I would do the -4 for sure. Good luck with that. 22k.
Gives you a hell of a at 22k. Gives you a hell of a strong team going forward. Yeah, and the last one. No, there's 2 more. Sorry.
Gorav again.
Simicast over White or Duffy could start. I thought he might start this week, and he didn't. Not worth the risk.
No, do Duffy, right? Or
I'd play White. Burnley.
Yeah.
Burnley away.
Yeah.
I'd play White. I wouldn't play Simicast. I nearly did risk it. When I posted my team, I had Simicast starting, and then I was like, nah. And he wouldn't have made any difference because he didn't start. But I just think we have to assume Robertson's going to play every minute of every game because he is at the moment.
I'm just looking at how Leicester have been for set plays defensively. 0.9 expected goal conceded from set plays. Normally from set plays, Leicester have been weak. And Duffy's obviously a big factor at set plays, but they've actually been pretty strong from set plays defensively this season. So perhaps there isn't anything in that. And you play White at Burnley. Don't know. I'm torn there. I think I'd play Duffy myself.
Interesting. If you got Sanchez as well, double up.
Oh, has he got Sanchez?
No, I'm just asking. Maybe that makes a difference.
I'd play Duffy. If not knowing whether he's got Sanchez in goal, I'd play Duffy myself.
Okay, yeah. If you've got Sanchez, I would play White. If you haven't got Sanchez, I'd play Duffy.
Okay.
That seems like a nice...
Yeah. Last one, Gavino.
Hi, guys. 3 options this game week. Calvert-Lewin to Bamford for free, but means playing Brownhill or Soufal. Option 2, Soufal and DCL to Semedo and Bamford. Or option 3, Simicast and DCL to Duffy and Bamford. Well, I don't think Simicast to Duffy for a -4 is worth it. Because option 1, you can do Calvert-Lewin to Bamford for free anyway.
I'd do the first option myself.
I'd just do the first one, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think... making a hit for a defender is not something I find palatable unless I'm bringing in a Cancelo or James, the kind of player that gives you an attacking return chance. Semedo arguably does, but I think we're getting carried away on Semedo. His stats look good, but what's his pedigree for attacking returns? Not strong. So I wouldn't do it necessarily. I don't think Semedo and Duffy you can bank on an attacking return to repay that. Semedo has a good chance for a clean sheet, but again, he's got to get it for the -4. I'd go option 1. Yeah, just save the -4, take the DCL to Bamford, but wait until Bielsa's spoken. We've got a couple right at the end. End.
Well, Gurav's just saying thanks.
Yeah.
So we're doing
And
3 hours. We've done 3 hours 10 today, Mark. This is the final one from Andre Lungu. His team is Sarr, Trent, Rudiger, Semedo, Salah, Jota, Sarr, Gray, Lukaku, Antonio, Bamford, with Steele, Williams, Allen, and Livramento on the bench, and 2 million. I mean, it's a good team.
Future moves. It is a good team. Future moves. Let's see what he needs to do. He's got Rudiger already in place. This is a hell of a team, to be honest. So he's got Trent, Rudiger, Semedo as his first 3. Does he want to get Jota, Sarr, Gray, Lukaku, Antonio, Bamford? Future moves here. I presume you want to try and get in that second Chelsea defender, right? So you can do that, though, because you've got Livramento on the bench, which you can upgrade, or Williams you can upgrade. So future moves for me would be bringing in James.
Yeah. Or I would do Saar or Gray, maybe up to Greenwood. At least for the next couple.
Would you have Greenwood going into that tough run? I think James will outscore Greenwood over the not over the next 2, but over the 5 that follow.
Yeah, but you got 2 games, and then you can reassess, right?
Yeah, I think James.
There might be wild cards to be played and stuff.
True. I think you want to set yourself up to get those 2 Chelsea defenders for that run. You can make a short-term transfer in between that, and that maybe is. But Saar and Gray, I mean, Saar's got good fixtures. Gray's got Norwich next week. I would just bank it and roll.
I just don't really like either of them particularly
as
options. No, so I think I'd probably lose one.
Hell of a team, though.
Maybe Saar to Rafinha or Gray to Rafinha.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it is a very good team. That's what you get when you don't have Ronaldo, Lukaku and Salah. You can
Love it.
Yeah, it's really good.
All right. Thanks so much, Andre. Thanks to everyone who contributed tonight with the super chats. Your support is much appreciated.
Wow, loads of super chats tonight. V Buckley says stream too long. Prefer a 1 hour mainstream and 30 minutes Q. A 1 hour mainstream. Have you ever listened to BlackBox before? We've never done a 1 hour.
I don't think we can ever do 1 hour, can we? I think we did a shorter one tonight, but by about 10 minutes. But
that's good for us. 1 hour 50. Yeah, if you're expecting 1 hour, then
it's hard, right? I'd love to make it shorter because I think we'd probably do better in terms of listens and views and whatever. Right? I think we would. But the thing is, some people like it, and it's not going to be easy for us to cut it back. I'd rather look at doing a second something next season and do a quick half-hour show on top.
I think with the timestamps, I think it works well. People can tune into different bits and bobs, and you don't have to listen to the whole thing. I mean, to be honest though, a lot of it is down to our own enjoyment and my own enjoyment. And I could honestly say in 45 episodes, I've never been bored and sat here thinking I wish it was half an hour less or an hour less.
No, we've often wanted to keep going, right?
Yeah, talking to the chat and stuff. So, yeah, I do. It is. I realise it's not going to be for everyone. It might be a bit too long, but unless I'm getting bored of it or you're getting bored of it, then I don't think we will keep cutting it back. Yeah.
I'd just like to say Will Howe's in the house. Will Howe, if you don't know, is the guy who did all our graphics. And he also designed the Scout logo and the So basically, did the branding for Scout for me. He did the branding for BlackBox for me. Look him up on Twitter. He's a genius, fantastic guy. And big hello to Will. Thanks for joining us tonight. You and the others. Good stuff. Thanks, Az. We'll see you. Might not see you next week. I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't do a show without you. It won't be the same without you. So I'm hesitant, but we'll see. We'll see what people think.
I will leave it in your hands. And what
bad
people want.
Doing it without you, just like I wouldn't like you doing it without me. It's not the same.
I couldn't do it without you. I wouldn't do all the prep.
Well, the tech would be really. That would be a laugh though. Watching you do the tech. I reckon you're getting better at that though.
Hey, I'm full time at this stuff now.
Full time fantasy.
And I'm not having too many technical problems at the moment. Although, did I tell you that I did one with Sam and we got about 10 minutes in and then I realised I hadn't pressed go live.
Brilliant. And then you had to do it all again, that 10 minutes.
Start again.
Did it still feel natural afterwards or did you feel like it was just deja vu?
We had a bit of a laugh of it.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Always. Thanks so much, Az. Thanks so much again to all your support. We'll be back next week, maybe, right? Well, not us, but someone will be back next week. We don't know who. And then Az and I will be back the week after. Good luck with the house move, Mr. Az.
Thank you. Yeah, should be good.
And good luck with the weekend as well. It's a good night for me again.
Good night, everyone.